Oh, what's that? Sony was gonna shut down the PS3 and Vita stores, but then decided against it? Finally! A game company that's making a smart decision. Let's talk about it. So I was actually going to talk about this a long time ago. You know, back when Sony was sticking to their guns on closing the stores, but my, procrastination habit got in the way of that. Uh, I really am going to try to be more active on this channel.
You serious?
Now, for a while there, it really seemed like Sony was gonna close the PS3, PSP, and PS Vita stores. I even ended up picking up PS Vita specifically so I could download games, before they were all gone. And the day the PS Vita arrived in the mail, no bullshit, that's when Sony reversed their decision and were like, oopsie, I made a fucky wucky. Let's fix that. Yeah. And, the only game I was able to get for it was this, because it's the fucking cheapest, physical game, since all the fucking physical prices are skyrocketing. So, yeah, the vast majority of my PS Vita games are downloads, and I got that one specifically for testing purposes, just to see if physical games would work. Not that it's really gonna matter, considering all the prices are... Oh my god! Oh my god! Yeah, and that applies to PS3 and PSP as well, so the stores closing would have been a fucking real problem. Especially since there's also, some games that can only be played via download. So that would be a lot of games just disappearing at a fucking Thanos snap. Like, okay, no. Now, the PSP store is still closing, I think, in July? July? Something like that. But I think that the PSP games are still going to be available on PS3 and Vita. And, Vita's backwards compatible, so, well, mostly backwards compatible. There's some games that outright don't work, and some games that you have to download onto the PS3 and then copy to the Vita. But you have to disable two-step verification to do it, because for some reason, if your account is too secure, the copying process won't work. Anyway, a little bit off topic. So, what are my thoughts on this? Well, I'm glad Sony decided against closing the stores. Of course, that also means that, I paid like $120-ish for a Vita and $120-ish for a memory card, because the fucking PS Vita memory cards are just as much as the system itself, which is ridiculous. But yeah, I did all that kind of, I guess, preemptively. Anyway, yeah, since the stores aren't closing yet, that does give people a little more time to pick up whatever digital games they wanted to pick up. I do think that they're merely postponing the inevitable, though, but hopefully, by the time they, actually close the stores and, actually stick to their fucking guns on it, they'll actually have some alternative methods of getting those games, such as, PS5 backwards compatibility or something, but I don't know, Sony doesn't seem to be too keen on that idea, especially since, Jim Ryan himself pretty much said that he sees no value in old games at all. Was basically like, oh, PS1 and PS2 games look ancient. Why would anybody want to play those? Or who would want to play those? I don't know, man. A lot of people. A lot of fucking people. Myself included. Ya dingus! Which I don't know. I don't know how he feels about that anymore, but yeah, that statement is gonna haunt him forever. Forever. Gonna be memed into the fucking ground. Jim Ryan is gonna be known as the guy who doesn't give a shit about old games. Because they look ancient. Who'd want to play these? Again, a lot of people would. Anyway. Yeah. But yeah, had the stores actually been closed so soon, we would have ended up losing a lot of shit, such as, slightly cheaper video games, or in some cases, way cheaper video games. Video games that don't exist in physical form, as well as a lot of DLC for games that would have just completely disappeared, meaning there would have been a lot of games that would essentially be incomplete, such as Persona 5 Arena Ultimax and PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, which I don't know how many people really, care about those games, especially PS All-Stars, but still, having those games just essentially be missing content forever would just kind of suck ass. And also, patches for games were already being disabled before Sony was like, maybe we shouldn't close these stores. So, yeah, that was causing a lot of problems. Patches were being preemptively put a stop to, which means, any fixes that were made to a game were null and void. And of course, updates that would make, DLC even work in the first place would also, be null and void. So yeah, would have been a major fucking problem. And you would have essentially been stuck with the base version of a video game, which, usually, these days, lacks a certain amount of content, or in some cases is outright broken, because, nowadays they tend to launch games in a somewhat broken state, and are just like, oh well, we'll fix it later. Which I think is fucking dumb, but, it's just kind of how things are these days. So, not really much you can do about it. Other than, I guess, boycott every single company, but who wants to do that? Especially these days when nobody really has too many means of entertaining themselves outside of video games and movies and books and, I don't know, going till your tongue falls out. Just whatever means to entertain yourself, because you can't really go outside too much, so. Yeah, this would have been the absolute worst fucking time to shut down the PS3 and Vita stores. The worst time. You could not have picked a worse time to be like, oh hey, we're shutting down the stores so we can focus on the PS4 and PS5. Oh yeah, you mean the PS5 that nobody can fucking get right now because stock is low and scalpers are assholes? Yeah, good going. But yeah. They're not doing that, at least not yet. And, hopefully by the time they do, PS5s will be easier to get a hold of, and the virus won't be spreading as much, and there will be some sort of fucking backwards compatibility on PS5. Because for now, it's pretty bad when Xbox seems to care more about backwards compatibility than everyone else and is more pro-consumer than everyone else. Because Sony and Nintendo don't seem to give any semblance of a fuck in any, I don't know, re-releases of games that we do get are, limited time only shit. So that's fucking great. Anyway, I don't really have too much more to say about this. I just kind of wanted to express my thoughts on this a little bit. Probably only 5 of you are going to be watching this video, but that's fine. That's fine. Hopefully, those of you who are watching this actually give a shit about my opinion on this subject. If not, I guess I wasted my fucking time. Oh well, life goes on. Anyway, that's it, you magnificent bastards. See you around.